G'day boys, welcome back to another Frostbite's G.I. Joe Repro video. As you would have seen from my last video, I went up to the Penrith Collector Con and just had a fantastic time. I do like a 6-hour round trip to be able to do these things. Spent a lot of money on accommodation, meals, stuff like that. I always take the family up as well. It's a bit of a relaxed time for all of us. Kids like going to the mall up there, and I like going and doing a bit of toy shopping. So today we're going to run through my haul from the Collector Con. I've done this as two separate videos. So I did the initial walkthrough video, and today we're going to do the haul video. I like to do two separate videos because otherwise it's just too much to keep you engaged, you know, like it's just too much. So this is the haul video. I do want to say as well, when I go to these collector cons, it is to go and buy some gems and get some stuff that I need for my collection, or you know, weapons or whatever, just all that collector stuff. The other thing is the engagement with the toy community, and as you would see through my walkthrough video, I got to meet up with a whole bunch of people who got a lot of time for. If you haven't seen that walkthrough video, go and check it out now. It was a big walk. I think it was about 3.5 hours I ended up spending there, but I didn't really notice. I just had such a great time seeing and talking to people and just picking up those gems. So we're going to split this into two components. The first part of the video, I'm going to go through what I bought the day before the Collector Con, and that was at Second Childhood Toys and Collectibles in Penrith. It's run by a dude called Kyle, absolutely great guy. He is what I would consider to be a real normal guy in the community. If you engage with him, don't muck around with him, just, you know, straight up. He's a great guy to deal with. I went in there, spent a bit of money, and he knocked a fair bit off his prices as well. Pretty much, he knows I don't muck around. I go up there, I know sort of what I like and what I'm looking for, and you know, just spend the money with him. I really like spending money with him because A, he's a normal dude, and B, he's a brick and mortar shop. So he's, you know, he's chasing that dream. He's really doing his best to sell us the things that we want to buy. You know, if you don't have these brick and mortar shops, then, you know, in the end, you're buying off people online. And how do you know those people? You know, you're not building relationships, really. It's always good to go and engage your brick and mortar people in person. Go and meet these people, establish relationships. If you haven't seen my video where I did a walkthrough of his shop, go and check that out. He has such an amazing place. And I'm just always going to pretty much label it the best in Australia. It was just full on. So, and that's the first component. Then the second component of the video is what I picked up at the Collector Con. You're going to see a bit of a mishmash of stuff. It's not all G.I. Joe stuff. You're going to see some really cool stuff. But yeah, that's enough of that. Let's go. All right, let's go. So just to lead off with the stuff that I got from Kyle at Second Childhood Toys and Collectibles. He's had this rattler sitting in his stock since last time I was up there last year. I was asked recently by one of my channel members to create a stand, especially for a rattler. I've been doing a lot of stands recently, and I just didn't have a rattler. And I thought, you know what? I should just drop the hammer on a rattler. So first thing I walked in and established with Kyle after saying hi was, still got that rattler, bro? And he said, yep, damn right. So we talked about price. Kyle knocked a decent amount off it for me, and I really love him for that. He is a great guy. So I've had a rattler before, but it was, you know, about half incomplete. And I'm starting to learn the older I get and more experience into this collecting thing, that it is just best to buy complete when you can. So I dropped the hammer on this thing. Beautiful piece. Comes with Pilot. It is 100% complete, and even come with the file card, which I can't see right now, but I'll pull out when it pops along. Now, the only thing that was wrong with this was the landing gear was broken, which he, without even me asking, I didn't even notice. He said, mate, I just noticed this is broken off. I've knocked another, I think he knocked another $50 off just for that, which, you know, how can you argue with that? So I said, you know what, that's something that can just be glued back on. So yeah, I grabbed it. All the pieces here. There's the culprit. We'll get that back on. It's fine. A whole bunch of stuff. And, you know, just really stoked to now have this in the collection. So the first thing I'll be doing this week is making a stand for this. Once I've made a stand, I'll then be making a wall mount, because that's what I like doing, is saving a bit of space, bit of display space, and just putting these things on my wall. Up to my top right, I've got my Sky Striker and Night Raven. So this thing, yeah, I'll find a spot for it. I want to also put my Locust up somewhere. And I've got a Mamba as well. So maybe the Mamba and the Rattler might be going on the wall together. But yeah, just so bloody stoked to finally have one of these in the collection. And I now need a second Baroness to put into this canopy. Which, yeah, there you go. It's cool as. Get Baroness in there. So that's the first thing. And then, because when you go to his shop, right, it's I'm not going to say he's the most organized dude in the world. I found with his shop, the best thing to do is just take a walk around and see what you can find. And boy, I found some shit. And I actually found my worst problem was waiting for him to tally the stuff up, because while he was tallying, that was causing me to be bored and then go and find more stuff and bring them back, which then caused further tallying. It was a very vicious cycle, but I eventually got out of there after, you know, paying a fair bit. So found this. Now a lot of these weren't marked with prices. I just took what I wanted to him, and he gave me an end price. And I think it was a very fair end price. So, yeah. Recoil, I'm quite the fan of Recoil. Don't like his hat, but yeah, I like Recoil. Found that. Found this in one of the buckets. It's a G.I. Joe trading card. '93. Airborne from Sky Patrol. Now I have a few of these, but I tell you what I don't have a few of is ones that actually have the parachute. So yeah, I definitely added that. I really like that V2 Airborne. So, you know, it's good to add it to the collection. Crankcase's helmet. Now I actually came up with two of Crankcase's weapons. I found two of them. One carded and one loose. When I say carded, I mean like this. And he said, I actually need one of those. Have you got the helmet? And I said, no. And he said, great. How about you do a weapon and a helmet? I'm like, sweet, no worries. So yeah, grab both of those. Now, this interrogator weapon, I found this and I was like, holy shit. This is a difficult weapon to come across. I wasn't actually sure if my interrogator had a weapon, so I just grabbed this anyway. I think at the very least I can help someone out in the community if I already have one. I don't know if I'd bother modeling this up because that end part looks painful. So yeah, interrogator weapon. Ripper. I don't have that. Just some accessory pack stuff. Just some cool items. You know, when I don't actually need a lot of stuff. But when I see stuff like this for sale, like, you know what? Old mate's in a business, so he wants to sell things. So if I want to buy them, let's just buy. Some more accessory pack stuff. A Storm Shadow backpack. I really don't like saying that I army build things, but I do like collecting Storm Shadow V2s. So finding a backpack, sure, I'll take that. This is Snarl's weapon, I think, G1 Snarl. And I don't have any weapons for my G1 Dinobots, so it's like, yep, chuck that in, bro. He had a couple of wetsuit items. And that's another figure that I don't mind collecting. So I was like, just chuck it in. And, you know, who doesn't like spending time cleaning blue tack off things? My God. I saw a couple of these micro figures and I believed that I was oh, no, now that I'm looking at it, I do have him. So yeah, I'll offer that up into the community. I love these micro figures. I've done a video on these things and yeah, fantastic. They're my actual favorite mocks to collect, is the ones that come with these extra little things. Major Blood, and I don't have this guy. I know that for sure. So yeah, he'll go into the cabinet. Wetsuit, I don't have this, so that was another good pickup. One of the twins' weapons, and I'll probably end up modeling this, I reckon. Because these weapons, for some reason, just painful to find. So yeah. Can't remember who this belonged to, but I do remember it's a good backpack to have. So yeah, I'll just search that up and try and remember who that's from. Now, V2 rock and roll. I have a complete V2 rock and roll except for this bloody backpack. And I reckon I had one a while ago, but I don't now. So I went and saw Kyle. Kyle actually has a crap load of parts. And yeah, he was good enough. He's had to store them all away in the shop. He doesn't put them out on display anymore because little bastards come in and steal them. I don't know why you'd be stealing from, you know, a shop that's trying to help you out with this stuff. But yeah, if you know what you need, you go and see Kyle. He will get up on his ladder and get up high and try and see if he's got what you need. So I now need this. I now have this, so I can actually complete my V2 rock and roll. So yeah, really stoked about that. Frogman, sorry, eel flipper, I believe. These two guys. Broken crutch. But yeah, that'll be good. I'll probably actually chuck them onto my warthog that I've got on display. Now look good on them. All right, that's that big batch. Now, I do want to say, you had this guy on display, and I really like alley vipers. Both the top pegs are intact. Shield is there. Weapon is there. Backpack is intact. He's got his face mask, but one side of the face mask has broken away, which I've never seen before with these guys. But the other side is there. So, and I actually thought $50 is a pretty reasonable price, but you know, because I was buying a fair bit, he knocked off some further money from that. So yeah, this guy, legend. All right. Whilst walking around, found these on his repair table. Battle Beasts, made by Hasbro, I believe, in the 80s, early 80s. These things are bloody difficult to find and expensive. They were the only other toy that came with the rub symbols that we saw on Transformers. They're very cool. So even though these were broken, I asked him how much, and he was like, bro, I just gave them to you for like $20 or something. These things go, when they're, you know, he's missing an arm. If he had that arm, he'd be $20 to $30 by himself. So yeah, I thought $20 for a couple broken ones was really quite reasonable. Have a look around for Battle Beasts. You will not find them. All right. Clean sweep. Now, I think I actually got this guy, maybe. I'm getting right back into the Eco Warriors side of things. Got to check. I don't think I've got him. But the interesting thing is, he comes with all of his accessories. Which, you know, that's the beautiful part of this. Look at that Mo. Like, come here, baby. I'll clean you up. Yeah, awesome. Just like these bright colors. So yeah, all of his parts. It's great. He'll be going on display. Eventually, when I clean and sort all this stuff. All right. Now, I found a Sarge in the shop. I'll probably change his band because that's going as we speak. But yeah, broken thumb, that's okay. It's a bit squeaky. So yeah. But a minute to have a few Sarges. I may actually even end up just offering him to Zazel. I've got a few, but I don't mind picking him up when I can find him. Now, I found this bad boy. I've got the Joe, one of the Joe versions. I do not have this one. This is the Night Vulture one, I believe. He had a Night Vulture complete. I said, I just want the glider, please. And he said, yeah, let's do that. So super excited to add this guy to the collection. That was a good pickup. What else have we got? Ah, this was, and this is the other thing, right? When he said, I've got the Rattler, I was like, bro, yeah, that's cool. And he said, this is actually an Action Force version. I was like, holy shit, I love this. So yeah, I was even more happy to grab it. Has the blueprints for it. When he said it was complete, he meant it was complete. Very, very cool. File card. And that was the paperwork that come with it. Now, he had this sitting in his shop for a while. He had 50 on it a while ago. I said to him this time, mate, it's a box. It's not great condition. It'll still display well for me. What do you want to do? And he said, bro, just take it for $10. So I was very, very happy with that. More than happy to pay 10 for a broken box. And I'm looking forward. I'll probably make that one of my members videos, is getting this off. I like playing with removing tags like this and just seeing how we go. But yeah, empty box. And that was it from Kyle. Amazing pickups from one shop. Like the Rattler was one thing, but all this other shit, awesome. Just really happy. So thank you very much, Kyle. You are a legend, sir. Okay, moving on to the con. Okay, at the con, I was a bit scared within the first 20 minutes, because in the first 20 minutes I'd spent all the cash that I'd bought in. First up, I stopped off at a car place, or a car seller. It was like 4 stalls in or something, and I bought some Days of Thunder stuff from these guys last Penrith Con that I went to. So I saw him, I was like, holy shit, you got the one I'm missing? And yep, of course he did. The mellow yellow car. So really, really happy with that. Once again, I forgot to get the details of the seller. In case I wanted further stuff. But yeah. Super happy to have this one. I'll tuck that into the cabinet with the other ones. So this sitting there, it's like, you know what? I quite like a bit of Micro Machine action. These guys did some deals for me. I think I got this for 15. I think I got this for like 65. This is the first mint on card Micro Machines that I have ever bought. So very cool. US classics. And then you had a whole bunch of Micro Machines sitting there. It wasn't the usual dude. It was, I think, his wife and his son. And these were the sons, apparently, I think. He had a bunch there. And I said, I like Micro Machines. And the mother was like, oh, cool. And I said, how much for the lot? And that seemed to cause a bit of confusion, like they weren't prepared for someone to ask that question. let me know in the comments, you know, if I'm showing any toys, if you're really into them. This is a special one. It's got all the opening doors and, you know, engine component and stuff like that. It all opens. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, boy. That's a weird looking one. It's pretty cool. Looks like a Corvette. I was only telling someone this morning that micro machines are a bit of a secret collection habit for me. I don't really advertise it that much. I just get them when I can see them. That is one of the nano speed ones. So I will probably get rid of that one. Not a micro machine. It's the kind of thing you got to watch out for when you're buying micro machines. Is there's like 5 or 10 different other brands. So don't be paying for, you know, something that you think is a micro machine. It is not a micro machine. I have gotten a bunch of these in a pickup before off Facebook. It was like a thing made by the toy company Moose, I think, and it was like a racetrack and had little capacitors and stuff inside, and you, I think, charge them up or something, and they just fly off by themselves. So really cool concept, but I collect micro machines, so yeah. So that was from one vendor. That took a majority of my cash. I walked in with 200 bucks to this place. That took, you know, the majority of my cash straight off the bat. And then if you watch my walkthrough video, you'll actually see me stopping at all these places. Next thing I bought was this Gambit. I quite like Gambit. He's my favorite character from the X-Men and Marvel. I said to the guy, what's the deal with this brand? And he said, well, you know, it's one level below Mafex. He said, what's the go? You know, the part's going to break or something if I move them. And he said, if you're playing with them, it's probably not the deal for you. But probably if you're putting too much pressure on them, they probably will break. I said, I'm just going to be displaying. And he said, you'll be just fine, mate. So, yeah, really good dealer. If you look in the walkthrough video, it was the guy where you see at the start, you see all the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat statues. Was that guy. So, yeah, really happy to add that to the collection. I've only actually got one other Gambit. This one looked really cool with his really nice jacket. And it looks like you can get him into some really sweet poses. I'll probably actually open this up for my members. If you haven't seen already, I have a channel members option, a couple of bucks a month, and you'll get an extra 2 to 3 videos a week. And I also do vintage toy giveaways monthly. Also, I do discounts on my 3D printing stuff. So yeah, go and look at that and give it a go. A couple of bucks a month. Give it a go for a month and see if you like it. Next up, I found this guy, Steve Urkel. Now, I've seen these sold on Facebook auctions here in Australia. Not all that often. I've maybe seen like 1 or 2 in 5 years. And I've always ummed and ahed about it. And I've sort of thought, nah, it's silly. And then this dude had this. And once again, you can find this in the video. And a Sergeant Slaughter. One of the wrestling ones. Maybe Jax is the brand, something like that. And his guns are so big, you can't even put him close to his body. So yeah, those sunglasses come on and off. That's cool. So I said, you know, can you do this and this deal? And he was like, yep, no worries. Like, sweet. Now, I just really wanted an Urkel just so I can bring it out on the piss with mates and be like, did I do that? Yeah, one of those dickhead things, but it's funny as it cracks me up. So yeah, that was another one. Now, I went up to another vendor, you'll see in the video, and he had this snowcat. And that's where I actually met up with my mate, Mick Waits. I've never met him in person before, so it was really cool. Underneath the table, he had this sitting in a box with C-Ray parts and Thunder Machine parts. Now, Waitsy wanted the Thunder Machine stuff, and the whole box was 20 bucks. So I said, well, you know, let's just get the whole box. I'll take the Snowcat, and you can take the Thunder Machine and C-Ray stuff. So we're both really happy. Now, the thing with this, right, it's one wheel's broken off, the other wheel's missing. It's missing its back component, missing engine bay. This part's broken. Like, she's a bit terminated, but I tell you what, it's got its headlights. It's got the canopy, but the canopy is intact, so that's awesome. And then it's got its top cover, so I can part this thing out. And yeah, there's some good parts sitting in here. No steering wheel, but you know, if you're buying a scrap Snowcat and expecting a steering wheel, good on you. So yeah, 10 bucks for that. All right. Now, the rest of this isn't too much in order. So let's just do some things. I found this guy in the walkthrough video. This is where you'll see me looking at some Star Wars figs. Now, he had a whole bunch of vintage, modern, and other stuff. He was a really nice dude to deal with. I was really quite happy to do a deal with him. He said to me, I picked these Stormies out, and I said, he'd already said that the vintage Star Wars figures were 15 bucks each. So I picked these two out. And he said, oh, no, this one will be 25 because he's got his weapon. I said, bro, it's not even the right weapon. It's a modern weapon, I think. And he was like, oh, okay, 15. I'm like, okay, thank you. So, yeah, quite happy to pick up Stormies at 15 bucks each. No postage. He ended up just tossing the weapon in for free, which, that's cool. Thank you. He was a really nice guy. Then he had this bag, and I was like, what's in that bag, bro? And this bag was 15 bucks. So what did this bag have? It's got one of the Max Revo band microphones. I think this is Sice Noodles. Microphone, I believe. No. Yeah. One of them. Can't remember which one. But yeah, I don't have this. So that's going straight in the collection. This come off one of the Return of the Jedi skiff vehicles. So that's cool as. I don't know what this is off. I think probably one of the mini rigs. But then, holy shit, it's got this thing in there. This is the carbonite thing from Boba Fett's Slave 1 vintage. Stickers. Stickers. Just really dirty. I was missing this for ages, and I ended up buying it off Big Phil Taylor a little while ago. And then I bloody find this thing at a toy convention sitting in some shit pile. It's the luck, right? So yeah, I'll clean this up and I'll probably end up chucking it onto eBay. It's such a cool piece. Very happy to have found that. That was the only thing. The vintage figs this guy had, they had had a hard life. But I do like cleaning vintage figs up. Let me give you the drum. All right. Found this Python Patrol asp sitting on a shelf. You'll see this. He had it for 65 bucks. Gave me a bit of a deal. I don't know if it's complete, but it's cool as. As you can see in my video, I was just really quite happy to see Joe stuff there. This thing will display like a champion. Really cool. I don't really collect Python stuff, so I probably will get rid of that, but it was nice to be able to grab it at the convention. And the same seller that had that also had this. And you'll see me in the video talking to the old lady about this. A rage. And my question to her was, is it complete? And she didn't know, unfortunately. I don't know enough about the rages to know if it is complete. This box is in shit condition. Just one side though, so it will still display well. I will clean the shit out of this. Let's see. At the back, is it? Supposed to have mines at the back. Let's see. You reckon? Oh, I can hear something. Well, that handle's bloody broken, so that's a bad start. No mines. That's where it sits. There's something moving around in there, though. Got some... on top. It's a cool little bay. I don't know what's supposed to go in there. No landmines though. I will make something up. It's cool. It's obviously what I heard shuffling around. Oh, that's funny. Got this part. Goes up. It's not a bad vehicle, actually. This is the first time I've held one in person. It's pretty cool. That's cool how that comes off to the side like that. Look at that. Gatling gun at the front. Big ass Gatling gun at the back. If this comes up. I've just been missing out all this time on how cool this vehicle is. Would have been better if they had better wheels, some proper wheels. That's really cool how that just comes up. Yeah, very cool. Very nice pickup. Be careful that thing's broken. A really good display vehicle. But I will keep that in box, and that will go on the shelf. In box. So yeah, that didn't cost me much. Nice pickup, I reckon. These things, right, like if they're in box, I will like them a lot more if they're a shit vehicle than if they're just a single shit vehicle. I'm happy to get them if they come with a display box. All right. Oh, from that same guy, yeah, this guy sitting on the shelf. I did not pay $35. It is bazooka, and I do need a bazooka for my collection, but I'm not paying $35 for a single dude, regardless. So yeah, that was good. I think I paid like $20 or something for him. And even that's a bit of a pinch, I think. But yeah, that's cool. Now I've got him in my collection. So happy with that. Now you would have seen a bit further on, going through a seller who had some books. He had these sitting there. Now, I know they're Action Man. Well, it's Action Man and G.I. Joe, but it's both the big boy ones. This is cool. They cost me $5 a piece. I've never seen this before. So I thought, you know what? This is a very, very nice little display piece. And then this. How cool is that? Palatoy. Yeah. Nice little pickups there. I'm going to stop by the guy who runs the Toy Shack in Auburn and Sydney. He had a whole bunch of these Game & Watches, and I've been looking at this blackjack one for ages now. He had 225 on it, ended up getting a decent price for him, and this thing is legit sparkling. So yeah, I'll be adding this to my collection. Just a beautiful piece. Really happy with that. And the last thing, it's a oh, and sorry, I do want to mention, I did stop by this place. You'll see it in the video. These people did Pokemon binders. My daughter collects Pokemon. Don't put that shit on me. They made these binders, and they're actually laser engraving like the palms off, I think, brand of binders. They're laser engraving them themselves, so they're making their own products, and I really, really appreciate that. I thought they're doing very well. So check out the walkthrough video and look at the part where I'm talking to ladies about binders. And if your kids or you collect Pokemon stuff, man, they weren't cheap. They were, I think, $100 per binder. But these things, I have not seen anyone else doing this. So I thought very much good on these people. So there's the details if you want to track them down. They're really doing great. I always appreciate artists who are doing stuff different from the norm. And that's what those people are doing. Now I dropped by, it was like the last lane that I had to walk down. And I dropped by the sports card people, and they had some autos for my favorite football team. Did not pay these prices. They did me a good deal. So yeah, really happy to have picked these up. North Queensland Cowboys, Cohen Hess, Murray Taulagi, Jackson Purdue, which I was really happy to grab this one. This dude is spectacular. He had a beautiful rookie season. And then they had one for Tom Dearden. Didn't have the actual auto card with them for some reason, but they've since sent that to me in the mail, and I'll be opening that up on one of my channel members' broadcasts. Very, very cool stuff. So that's all I got from the con. Now, just weirdly, right, I want to show you something. There was a Salvos close to the hotel that I was staying in, and I don't mind a bit of thrifting, and I in fact say that thrifting is a very fun activity for me. I went into that Salvos and I thought, I'm not going to find shit. There's a major toy dealer in this town and a whole bunch of collectors. It's a whole collecting thing going on. And I walked to the back to where usually books and toys are. And Jesus H. Christ, I found this. Like an 80, I want to say 84-ish Optimus Prime pencil topper with free pencil. I bought something. Oh, and they had some Ninja Turtles with it. I don't know where they went. But yeah, it had some Ninja Turtles there as well. I think NECA ones weren't very expensive, like $15 for 3. And she picked this up and said, I said there was no price on it. And she said, yeah, we'll just chuck that in for free. I'm like, oh, no, I'll give you some money. So I ended up giving her a couple of bucks for it. Just very cool. Very, very cool to find this in a thrift shop on the weekend that you've just travelled from Canberra, so 3 hours, to go to a toy convention to get vintage toy stuff, and you find this in a thrift shop for a couple of bucks. I was so happy. It was, the irony was just fantastic for me. So yeah, guys, thanks so much if you've reached this point of the video. Really appreciate you spending the time to watch. Once again, check out my channel members option, a couple of bucks a month. Give it a go for a month. If you don't like it, you can always opt out. But if you do like it, you can stay forever. If you liked the video today, like. If you're not subscribed, hit that sub button. Always appreciate you guys taking the time to check out my videos. And until the next video, boys, stay frosty. Bye-bye.